It's working. Okay, so we're going to talk about fractions of solving
Oh my God.
equations with fractions.
My effort is my table of contents.
Okay? I feel like I need another pen. It's a little pressure. That's a little pressure, I think. Okay, solving equations with fractions. So I'm running out of time. So I've got like 6 minutes. So I'm going to first do one like we did yesterday, okay? Just to remind you. Now, if I had two 9ths x plus 4 9ths equals 8 9ths. Okay. When you first see this, it looks like a nightmare. Ben, what would you do?
You would have to find the common denominator, and then you would multiply each fraction by the whole number.
By the whole common denominator. In this case, what's the common denominator?
9.
9.
So
did you hear what he said, though? He actually gave away what I'm going to do in just a few minutes. He said you multiply by the common denominator. In this case, they're all common, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy. It's just multiply times 9. So if I multiply that times 9, those 9s cross out. If I multiply that times 9, those 9s cross out. If I multiply this times 9, those 9s cross out. So all I have left is the numerators. 2x plus 4 is equal to 8. Well, that's really easy. Now I can solve this. Subtract 4. Subtract 4. I've got 2x is equal to 4. Divide by 2. I'm doing this really fast. Is that okay? 2x is equal to 2. Right? The key here, you know how to do this part. And actually, you know how to do this too. But the key is seeing me crossing out the 9s, right? I'm not going 9 times 2 is 18, right? And then 18 divided by 9. I could, but that's the hard way, right? I'm not doing 9 times 4 is 36, divided by 9 is 4. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing crossing out the 9s, right? Okay, so now let's do another one. Let's say I gave you this. And I don't know whether these are going to work out because I'm just making them up out of the top of my head. Whether they'll work out evenly, but that's okay. So let's say I had, let's see, we'll just keep it simple. 2 fourths plus 2 fourths x plus 8 fifths equals, I don't know, 3 tenths. Okay? All right. Now, unfortunately, I don't have common denominators.
You have to make the
For what?
Can't you multiply it by 20 because they're multiples?
They're all multiples of 20. So 20 would be my lowest common denominator. Wouldn't you guys agree with me? If I were going to get common denominators, that's what I would make it, right? But I'm not going to get common denominators. I don't care about that. But I need to make sure you're writing this stuff down, okay? You need this for homework tonight, okay? So common denominators, if I was going to turn this all into common denominators, I would use 20 as my common denominator, right?
Yeah.
So my common denominator, CD, would equal 20, right? CD is now common denominator. Most people think they're those old discs, but they're not. They're common denominators, okay? And so we're going to multiply this times 20. Now, this is where you have to know your fractions, multiplying. And I'm going to write this out. Times 20 over 1, right? Times 20 over 1. You do not go 20 times 2 is 40 and then divide by 40. You do not go 8 times 20 is 160 and divide it by 5. You do not go 3 times 20 is 60. You do not do that. You cross-reduce. Now, I don't like that term, cross-reduce, because it's limiting. It makes you think that you can only go across, right? I call it upstairs, downstairs reducing. Probably not very technical, but it's more accurate, to be honest with you, right? Because I can reduce up and down, or I can reduce across. I can do whatever I want. But I'm going to first try across, right? So I notice, 4 and 20. 4 goes into 4. Once. You guys all know how to do this?
Yeah.
Yes? You've seen this? 4 goes, if you can take 4 out of this, you got to take 4 out of this. 4 goes into 20 5 times. What do I have now? 5 times 2x is 10x plus. Now, 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 20 4 times. Now look, all I have is 1 times 1 on the bottom. So it's really 8 times 4 is 32 equals, okay, 10 goes into 10 once. 10 goes into 20 twice, right? I have 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so now I'm going to, now look, that's an easy problem. Easy peasy. Just by multiplying it times your common denominator and then reducing. Cross-reducing or upstairs, downstairs reducing, however you want to call it. Okay? And so now it's really easy. Minus 32, minus 32. Everybody knows that 6 minus 32 is
Negative 26.
Thank God, you knew that. I didn't know that. Negative 24.
Negative 26.
Just checking.
Yeah.
You're so wrong, Derek. You're
I'm so wrong. Okay. All right. So now what?
You have to
Divide by 10.
Divide by 10. Divide by 10. So I got x is equal to negative 26 over 10, and I'm done.
No.
What do I do?
Reduce.
Deuce. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. So I got 13.5, right?
No.
Oh, just 13. Okay.
Negative
Over 5.
13.
Oh, there's a negative in there. All right, so I got x is equal to negative 13 over 5. Okay? Fist of 5, you get it? Do you all understand the common denominator idea?
Yep.
If you get this down, you will be light years ahead of a lot of people because so many people honestly freak out when they see fractions. But the cool thing is, in algebra, when you see fractions, usually we're talking about an equation. In the past, you didn't have equations. You just had, I don't know, 2/4, plus 8 32nds or something, right? And you couldn't multiply them. You could multiply them times the value of 1, and that's it. Here, you can multiply them times anything. Ideally, the common denominator. And then it gets rid of all your fractions. They disappear. Okay? So that's it. So I'm going to